Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
This episode is brought to you by Experian. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use, but can't find the time or energy to cancel them? Experian could cancel unwanted subscriptions for you, saving you an average of $270 per year, and plenty of time. Download the Experian app. Results will vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible. Savings are not guaranteed. Paid membership with connected payment account required.
The boarder told me it looked horrible. I did a terrible job. Nothing's matching. We had decided that we were going to have to repaint the walls.
So you thought it was your fault?
I thought it was my fault. I thought I've done a terrible job. I didn't even admit it to him for quite a while.
This is the plaintiff, Jennifer Clayton. She says she purchased ceramic tiles for her new bathroom floor and didn't realize they were the wrong color until they got to her bathtub and didn't match. Turns out the tiles were mismarked. She received different ones than the one she picked out, and now she has a big problem on her hands. The defendant says she'll replace the tiles for free, but refuses to pay the contractor to rip up the old incorrect ones and install the new ones. She's suing for $4,069.07, the cost of the job. This is the defendant, Angela Elliott. She says it's up to the customer to make sure the color they ordered is correct before they install the tiles. Otherwise, it's their problem. Between her and her installer, someone should have noticed the tiles they were installing were 8 times darker than the ones they ordered. Bottom line, she got her new tiles for free, but the labor to install them is on her. She's accused of being colorblind.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. We'll go find a new one for you. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thanks, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Jennifer Clayton, you are suing Angela Elliott, Mandarin Carpets. You are the owner, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For $4,069.07 in labor costs to rip out and reinstall tile because, according to you, she sold you the wrong one. Tell me what happened.
Okay, can I start off by saying I actually really like their business. I've been there multiple times. This is the 3rd time that I've actually purchased tile from them. This time was for my master bathroom. 8/26, I ordered the tile, and she said it would take a couple of weeks to come in.
Okay, who went to pick out the tile? You alone or you and your tile guy?
Me.
Did your tile guy ever go?
He had to pick up the sample because the samples were on these huge boards.
Why did he have to pick up the sample?
Because I couldn't fit it in my car.
No, but so you did take a sample home and look at it in the right lighting and all that?
Yes.
Okay, but they didn't have a sample to give you. Okay. And so he went, picked it up, looked at it in the lighting, everybody likes it, you go for it. Okay. And what happens?
A couple of weeks later, when it arrives, he went and picked it up. He started laying it. When we got home that evening, immediately my husband says, "It looks a lot darker than what I remembered." And I said, "Yeah, it does." Well, maybe once they put the grout in, maybe once we kept on with it. So by the time he got to the shower, the border that I had purchased, once he put that up, then it was I thought I'd done a terrible...
That was what? What did the boarder tell you?
The boarder told me it looked horrible. I did a terrible job. Nothing's matching. We had decided that we were going to have to repaint the walls.
So you thought it was your fault?
I thought it was my fault.
Right.
I thought I've done a terrible job. I didn't even admit it to him for quite a while, how much I disliked it. I'm trying to talk him into it. Meanwhile, inside, I'm trying to convince myself.
Right.
So he said, you've got to go back to the tile store and at least get a different border. This looks like crap.
Okay.
I said, okay.
Do you have pictures of how it looked with the border? Okay.
Yes, I do. So as soon as I get back to the tile place and I look at these huge samples, I realize immediately, oh my gosh, they sent the wrong color.
Okay. Go ahead and show me.
The first three are the darker tile. The last three are what it ended up looking like.
Okay, hold on. So this is the dark tile.
Correct. The first three.
And this is the correct tile.
Correct. The last three, I have one picture that kind of shows the two.
Right.
That was the only picture I could find that I had the exact picture of both.
Okay. So when your husband comes home and notices it's too dark?
Immediately, he said, well, he complained the whole way.
I know, but so he sees that, and your tile guy has done how much at that point?
At that point, originally when he first saw what little bit had been laid, he said, it looks darker. And I said, yeah, it does look a little darker.
So all of you see it when a little bit had been laid and nobody says, oh, wait a second.
It never dawned on me. I've ordered so much tile. I've done it a million times.
It never dawned on you that, see, that's the difference between you and I. It never dawned on you that someone would make a mistake. It never dawns on me that someone's not going to make a mistake.
It's it's the fourth bathroom in the house I've done. I've ordered tile so many times.
You then bring it to her, and what does she tell you?
She said, well, can you go home and look at the boxes? So I go home and I look at the boxes, and the box is correct. It matches my paperwork.
Right.
So she says, let me find out. She calls me the next day. They had two of the colors flipped.
They did, or the manufacturer did?
Whoever.
The manufacturer.
The manufacturer actually sent you samples with the wrong numbers on.
Yes, and I have photos of how it appears in our store.
Can I hand them to my bailiff?
That's the actual display. And the color names are on the top.
Wow, there appears to be, you call this an 8-shade difference. Are there 8 different colors of stone in between these two colors in the color rainbow of Desert Cove?
Yes, ma'am.
May I see that? Proof of that?
I don't have proof of it.
I'll be honest with you, they don't look 8 shades different. I thought there was going to be some huge difference. Huge difference. You're a homeowner, and you go to the store, you do everything right. And it turns out the manufacturer's you do everything right too. The manufacturer mislabels the samples that they sent you. So put yourself in her shoes a moment, okay? It's not like the tile that came was red and it's obvious. The tile is a different shade of brown, okay? She went there, how long did the tile take to get to the store?
2 weeks.
Okay, so I see a brown, I pick a brown, I go home, and then 2 or 3 weeks pass and it comes, I go, yeah, that looks darker. But it's the number that's on my paperwork. Oh, God, I botched it. I picked the wrong. You're going to need to persuade me. The issue, though, is that you've got a contractor. You had to pay to put it in, and now you got to pay to put it out. And then, of course, he's got to put it in again, but that part you should be paying.
Right.
Right. But there's one put in and one put out that's going to cost you how much?
$4,000.
$4,000. It's a big bathroom.
Yeah.
So, and you don't want to eat that. You don't think it's fair. So let me give you the floor. Talk to me and tell me why you should win.
Okay. So prior to Mrs. Clayton coming in and purchasing the tile, she sent her contractor in to the store. He picked up a sample of it and
brought it to the home, and they looked at it and they loved it because, of course, the sample they picked out was this one.
Right.
So this was called Maroon, and it shouldn't have been. It should have been called Noche, right? All right. So she takes it home, and Maroon looks great. And then what happens?
Right. She came back and ordered, and what happens in this business that we're in, we generally install most of our tile. We do bathroom remodels all the time. And what we do...
That would have been great. If you had used them, it would all be there botching. Okay. Or they would have noticed it. Right.
So the contractor was aware of the color selection. He signed for it. We checked it all the boxes were correct. They matched the packing slip. So we all thought everything was okay.
Right.
So what we do when we install a job is we lay out the tile, we lay out the decoratives, we show them the whole what the project's going to look like before we actually start installing an entire bathroom.
And you're suggesting that her tile guy should have done that?
Well, he is a seasoned veteran in the tile business. He was a representative for a major...
This is why when you're renovating, you have to take a year off your job and stand there and stare at everybody. I just went through all this. It's ridiculous how much goes wrong.
It's been 7 years, and that's the last room, and I'm so thankful it's over.
He starts laying the tile, and neither you nor your husband are home?
No, I'm at work.
Right.
In the evening,
and then you come home, and then part of it's done, or your husband at some point comes home before you and sees part of it done, doesn't stop him because he doesn't know the debacle. Should he have stopped him? No. Go ahead, go on.
Well, so if he would have laid it out and saw the decorative pieces look terrible with it, then we would have known there was a problem prior to the installation.
Yeah, or if the manufacturer had not sent the wrong color in a box, because as it turns out, this is not maroon, this is noche, and this is maroon.
Right, correct.
It's one thing to check the boxes because they may have sent the wrong color.
Right.
That's for sure. But when you check the boxes against the paperwork and everything matches, he's supposed to remember what brown was picked 2 weeks ago from that time,
No.
Right. So what you're suggesting is he should have made sure that the customer's color choices were the customer's color choices. How often does that happen, that the customer changes their mind on their color choices? So he comes, she's already made the color choice. What's he supposed to do? Edit her color choice?
No, it's just that we lay everything out and have the client approve it before we start installing.
You lay everything out again when it's in the
when it's in their home,
because you've already laid everything out at the store and they liked it. Then they laid everything out at the house and they liked it. Then the woman's got to go to work. The tile guy's going to come while she's at work. Let me ask you a question. When she comes in and she says, "Listen, I have a $4,000 bill I'm not going to eat," do you ever go back to the manufacturer and say, "This is all your fault, you guys should pay it"?
Yes, I did.
And what'd they say?
What they agreed to do was, to begin with, on their invoices, it says that no claims will be honored on installed materials, period. Once they're installed, even if they're defective, it's an industry standard.
Let me see the report.
It's right here.
Is this something she signed, or is this something that's between you and the company?
The manufacturer, yes.
Yeah, you and the manufacturer. Yeah. Is this something she signed? Do you have anything on your contract that says that? You should, right?
Probably so.
You should probably stick that sentence in your pre-printed forms now.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, what I have on my invoice is our warranty is as per manufacturer, and the manufacturer specifies, but it's a known.
No, but that's a deal between you and the manufacturer.
Correct.
If they don't see it, they're not bound by it.
No. I only mentioned it because that's an industry standard.
Yeah.
That once it's installed, even if it's defective, they won't do anything about it.
Well, I'll be the judge
normally.
Of that. I guess what I'm saying to you is there are times when industry standards matter. This isn't one of them. She has a right to sue you because her only privity of contract is with you. She doesn't deal with the manufacturer. So she's suing the right person. I got to tell you, if I end up ruling against you, you have the right to sue the manufacturer.
Yeah.
But then what did they do? You said they were willing to what?
Well, they replaced the tile, obviously.
Yeah,
Sent the new
that
tile
goes
right
without
away.
saying. That didn't need saying. Go ahead.
Right. And so then they agreed to credit our account for 7% against future orders in which we could give the installer the payments.
Wait, what does that mean? I don't understand.
If I ordered $1,000 worth of tile from them, then they would credit our account for 7%.
Until the 7% reached 100%?
Yes, until it reached 4,000.
Oh, well, that's really big of them.
Well,
it could take years.
Well, actually, we order a lot. We order a lot from them.
You do order a lot from them?
But the installer came in my office and had a meeting with me and told me that was absolutely not acceptable. That absolutely will not work.
Well, you could do that. You could pay the installer the $4,000, and then you can collect your $4,000 because you order so much from them.
Yeah.
And then you could, but you didn't do that, right? You didn't offer to do that. Ah, okay.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, is the tile company going to have to eat it, or is she going to have to eat it?
The tile company's going to have to. Because they gave her the wrong tile.
They did give her the wrong tile, but she installed it.
I think they should just split it.
Well, why? They're both at fault?
50-50.
Okay. Well, who's going to be the deal breaker here, the tiebreaker? Okay.
It's her fault. She should have brought a tile or kept the number, the sequence number, and then got the right one. It's her fault.
You're a hard woman.
That's true, but it's
wow. Going inside the courtroom.
So here we are, folks. You're a lovely company. You try to do the right thing.
Absolutely.
And I understand that. But the difference between these two, I got to ask myself, was it so irresponsible of the installer who've been privy to it, of you who see it midstream, of your husband who sees it early on? Was it so was it negligence on their part to not immediately spot that the color was different? And I have to tell you, now looking at the photos, I don't think it is. And it's not that different, although I do understand that once it's all there in the entire bathroom, it ends up making your bathroom look extremely dark. It's kind of they're both really pretty, frankly.
Mm-hmm. They are.
They're just a different taste. It wasn't what she wanted. She wanted lighter. So, much to my surprise, I'm going to find in your favor.
Thank you.
And you can attempt to recoup that amount from them, which I think you should be able to. Unless, they're holding as a defense, hey, we're real clear with you that, installation doesn't matter. I think this falls outside of that, because this couldn't have been more their fault. It isn't, oh, hey, these tiles came and they got installed, but as it turns out, they're a little rougher than they should be. It's not something like that. It is a huge, embarrassing error on their part. Verdicts for the plaintiff, $4,069.07.
Thank you.
All right, ladies, hold on, please.
Well, here comes the tile lady on the losing end of the gavel in this case. What's the smile about?
Well, the contractor should have been responsible to inspect the tile. We always inspect the product before you install it.
You're the experts. You have the eye. You can. You know the difference between shades, hues.
Yeah, we do, but he chose it too, so he knew what it looked like. And you always inspect the tile when it arrives on the job, because sometimes the dye lots are off so far that it's not acceptable to the client.
All right, now you have the right to go against the manufacturer to recoup this loss. What are your plans there? Are you going to go after him?
Absolutely.
So we'll see you in court again.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
head right down there. Thank you. Okay, so how do you feel coming out?
I feel wonderful.
Yeah, you got the bucks.
Well, I was really happy that the tile was wrong, because it was really ugly. So I'm glad when I got to the store and realized it was wrong.
You were really happy that it was wrong.
I mean, not, but yes.
Yes, but not?
Yes.
All right, so how's the place looking now?
It looks great. It's fabulous. I love it.
Okay. Harvey?
Got to tell you, Kurt, if you breach a contract, you may actually end up having to pay more in damages than the actual value of the contract. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
This is the plaintiff, Frederick Johns. He says the defendant towed his truck after an accident and took advantage of him by grossly overcharging him for the tow and storage fees. According to his printed tow rates, the defendant charged him double the amount in an attempt to take advantage of him. He's a smart cookie who did his homework and certainly won't be swindled by the likes of the defendant. That's why he's here today suing for every single dollar of the $1,001.06 he's owed. This is the defendant, Edward Fedak. He says he's so confused as to why this plaintiff would sue him because he gave him a huge break on his bill by not charging storage fees. And still the guy's suing him. The plaintiff's under the impression everyone works for free. But that is sorely mistaken. And he's going to walk out of here with nothing but a bruised ego because he did everything by the book. He's accused of towing the line.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says he was grossly overcharged by a tow truck company after an accident, but the defendant says he actually gave the guy a big break. It's the case of going toe to toe.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Frederick Johns, you are suing Kings County Towing and Auto Body Incorporated, represented here by Edward Fedak. Is it Fedak or Fedak?
Fedak.
You are the manager for $1,001 that you say you were overcharged in towing and storage fees. Tell me what happened.
April 18th of 2015, my vehicle was involved in a traffic accident. After the accident, NYPD determined that it should be towed. It was towed to their shop. I was not in the vehicle. I was not part of the accident.
Who was part? You weren't driving?
My son, no.
Okay, go ahead. So go ahead.
So after that, it was taken there.
Come on up, son. What happened in the accident?
Well, allegedly we ran the red light.
What does ran the red light mean?
People say we did, but...
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so other witnesses say you did, and then there's a collision. Do you and then the police get there, they decide the car, was the car damaged to the extent that it didn't need towing? All right, and it gets towed there.
Correct.
Did you get a tow sheet, a receipt or anything when they towed it?
Yes.
Okay, may I have it?
Sure.
You can sit down.
Okay.
You've done enough.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the vehicle was there. That was a Saturday evening. Monday, I called the shop. A lady answered. She wasn't very helpful. But the vehicle, I did not see the vehicle for another 2 weeks after that.
Why?
I did not want to see my car.
You did not want to see
I
the
did
car?
not want to see the damage of what...
Right, but you know there's storage fees involved.
I understood, but at the time, I didn't have the money, so
Okay, all right, so there's a
didn't
reason.
pay to go down there with nothing in your pocket to begin with. So
Right.
till I got some money in my pocket, that's when I decided to go and try to take care of what needed to be done.
All right, so when do you go?
May 1st, 2 weeks
And
later.
when you go on May 1st, what happens?
According to the document that I gave you, their fees, I calculated roughly $660 to that effect. I had about $700 and change on me.
Okay.
They tabulated at $1,072. There was extra, the fees were different.
Okay.
They added storage, yard and towing, administration, cleanup. There were all these other fees that are not listed there.
Okay.
That's all I had to go by.
So do you show them this?
Yes.
And what do they say?
The gentleman who I spoke to, his name was Red. He said, "Oh, that's just to show you the address of where the vehicle is. Those are not actual, the actual fees."
No, it's not. What's that about? What's going on? You have one rate here that the police, that you bargain with the police to be the guy they call, and then you have another rate when the customer comes?
All the rates are the same, Judge.
Okay, show me what
if you read it through, there's a yard fee, which is...
Where's there a yard? Okay, hold on. Do you have another document besides this one?
On our wall of
Stop talking a second. Wait, let me just get with you.
Concerning what?
Is this the only document they gave you that day?
This is the only document they gave us at the scene. The other document that I have is the actual invoice of when I did pay them. That shows the difference in the fees.
Okay, let me see that. What did you guys collect?
We collected, I believe, $1,080.
Are you looking at him for help? He says he paid you more than that. How much did you pay?
It's there, $2,200 for 40 days.
Do you have proof of paying $2,200?
That's my receipt, paid in full.
This doesn't say 20. Oh, here we go. We got a problem.
Yeah, big problem.
All right, who is Red?
Manager of the shop, of the
I thought
body
you were.
shop at Action. I'm for the towing department.
And who's Red? He's a manager of what?
Of the body shop. He did not pay. He paid $1,082, Judge. He didn't. The bill was cut in half. He didn't have all the money on him. We were back and forth on the telephone. I told him accept $8,000 plus tax. How did you pay, sir? Check,
cash.
Okay. Are tow truck companies generally on the up and up?
I think it just depends on the person. If they treat you fair.
I know, but if you had to generalize, how would you generalize?
They're pretty bad. I would have.
Pretty bad? What are you saying?
I mean, they got to make money too. They got to work.
But do they make it by crossing the line a little bit, or are they generally upstanding? What do you think? If you had to generalize.
I don't think they're crossing the line.
What do you say?
I don't think they're crooked. I think they're fine.
Who thinks they're worse than lawyers? Nobody. Great. Going inside the courtroom.
You want to see where it says here he paid $2,200?
Please.
Yeah.
I have one. Yeah. I have an extra one for him.
You have an extra one for him?
I appreciate it.
Show him where it says $2,200 minus $2,200.
Just paid in full. Yeah.
The only problem I'm having is we don't use these invoices. We use the invoice like this and an invoice like this. We don't use these invoices.
Do you have the original? Is that a copy or an original?
No, that is the original.
This looks like a computer
That you can do on a computer?
That he could have made the receipt himself.
Or Red could have.
Or the gentleman could have. We were back and forth on the phone, and...
You and him?
No, me and Red.
Where's Red? Is he here?
No, he's not here today.
How come, if Red's the one who talked to him, Red's the one who collected the money, why are you here instead of Red? Did Red ask you to come?
Yes.
How much do you think he was charged, and apparently Red doesn't have a receipt?
$1,000 plus tax.
According to Red's flapping gums, who's not here for me to cross-examine, because the only receipt I have is the one that you... Who's Drew?
Drew was a tow truck driver.
So according to you, Red says he only collected $1,000?
$1,000 plus tax, yes.
What are the fees? What should have been the fees? How much a day?
It was $25 per day, $27 after the first 3 days. That's $125 for the hookup, $25 positioning fee, $50 yard fee.
And that's it?
$90 cleanup, yes.
$90 cleanup of
Clean
what?
up oil dry, 3 bags oil dry. When the car's leaking the oil dry underneath, all the fluids leaked out of the car.
So this document...
Out of your car, sir.
This document...
You came back 2 days later, right?
Wait, don't talk to each other, please. This document is a copy of another document. Will you hand me the original?
Oh, I didn't have the original, so...
You didn't bring that receipt?
No.
Who told you that the charge was going to be different?
When I went to the yard itself to retrieve the vehicle, the fees were totally different.
And what did they show you or give you to tell you the fees were different?
Well, actually, on the first I went there, and I have this little scrap piece of paper that he started writing down these fees. It was $145 for the tow. There's a $45 fee per day, I guess that's sort of storage.
Show me that. Show me that. Who wrote that?
Red. This is Red's handwriting.
Okay.
And at that time, that 2-week period, the total came up to $1,072 for a 2-week period.
Take a look at this and tell me if you have any way to elucidate what that is. Do you recognize?
A piece of paper with a few numbers on it.
Right, and the top says, the top has a business name on it. Do you recognize the business name? I'm asking you a question, and you're under oath. Do you recognize the business name that's on top?
No.
Do you know Red's handwriting?
No. Nor did I know the gentleman's handwriting. And the receipt that he produced isn't one that
I know, but you know what? You can't just come to court saying, "Oh, he could be lying." That's not a defense. I mean, the guy is telling me X, Y, Z, handing me papers that say Kings County. Yeah, I'm a critical observer. I'm not an idiot. Right. I sit there and say, "Yeah, this could have been done on a thing. This could have been." But you're like not even the guy who had any dealings with him or took his money or anything else. How are you going to contradict what the guy's testimony is here today?
Absolutely.
Where did you get the money? The money that you ponied up that day, where did you get that money?
Some from my son, friends, neighbors, anybody I could get it from.
Really?
Yeah, because I understood after 60 days they could put a lien on your vehicle.
Okay.
I have a 2002 Harley Davidson custom truck. They have a body shop. I'm not letting them just keep my truck. So by any means necessary.
I can't even imagine what it was like to be you after that crash.
You don't even want me to talk.
I can only imagine what it was like in that household.
Honestly, Your Honor, I was more scared of him.
Absolutely.
Than anything else.
Did he ever talk to you about the whole storage and tow and all that? Did you ever have any discussions with him about it?
We spoke after. This is about a week after I let him breathe.
Did he ever tell you when he went there on May 1st and they told him the fees would be different, did he ever tell you anything about that?
He said that he showed me the paper that I received from the tow truck driver. I showed him that. He said, well, when I got there on May 1st, the fees are different from what's on the paper.
Okay.
It was totally different. So now the price is going up.
Right.
Okay.
So now we have to pay more than what we expected from what the paper is telling us.
Right.
Exactly.
So I had to work extra hard to pay my end of the bargain because it's my fault.
Right.
This is all because of me.
Right.
So of course I had to man up and take, responsibilities.
Right. How much did you have to pay?
I paid close to $1,200.
Okay.
And that's piece by piece.
Okay. Is Red at the garage?
Yes.
Call Red right now.
Hey, you want his number?
He's got it. He's got it. Don't talk to him directly, please.
Right, I'm in the middle of the people court session, live. Yeah.
Just tell him the judge wants to talk to him.
The judge, hold on, the judge wants to talk to you. Hold on. There you go, sir. There you go.
Hello, Red?
Yes, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So, we have a few questions for you about this case. Are you familiar with it?
Yes.
Did you collect the money?
I collected the money, yes.
He came in how many times?
He came in about 4 times because the first time he came in, he didn't have the money.
How much money did he have? How much money did he have the first time he came in with money?
When he came in the 4th time, I gave him the amount, and I don't recall how much it was. I think I told him $3,000, and he couldn't afford it. He was complaining that's too much money.
Why would it be? I'm sorry. Wait, Red. Slow down for me. Why would it be $3,000?
This is going to be
because the truck's still here almost three months.
When did you take the truck?
I don't recall it. I don't have the paperwork in front of me. I remember the truck is a Harley truck, but the day, I don't remember the exact date. Eddie has all my paperwork. I don't have
Yeah, according to this paperwork, it was towed on April 10th, and it was picked up on May 28th. That's not 3 months. So if the rates are $25 per day and then $27 per day, how could it ever mathematically end up to be $3,000?
Hallelujah. Somebody sees it.
Because you got the yard fee.
Oh, how much is the yard fee?
Yard fee is only $50. It's only $50.
Oh, well that's...
I don't recall how much was the amount.
How much did the guy pay you, Red?
The guy paid me $2,200.
Thank you, Red.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Red. Verdict for the plaintiff, $1,001. You know what? You may want to write the cops about that. Because they are a vendor that works with the police department, with the government. And if they're doing shady stuff like this, then they should not be a vendor for the police department.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I have your autograph? We gotta wait.
All right, out of the courtroom and into the hallway. Let's get some reaction from the defendant here to this verdict. The gavel comes down against you.
Should have had Red come present the case.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir.
What were you thinking when Red was on the phone there giving the judge that information?
He gave me different information.
This way.
Yep.
Don't go that way. Don't go. One last thing. Tow guys perform an important function, right? An important job, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Okay, come on in here, sir. And how are you feeling coming out of the courtroom here?
Very vindicated. I'm happy. It's a long process. I'm glad it's over with.
Mm-hmm. What was it like? What was it like when you heard that he messed up your truck?
Please.
It's very bad.
Once we go through this again, it's hurting.
We haven't heard it yet.
We're still mourning the damages done to the vehicle.
Yes, absolutely.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it was real for you, though, right?
Yes, very real. It was no laughing matter when they came and told me about the incident and what had happened. You know?
All right. So what have you learned from this whole thing?
Never borrow his truck again.
Mm-hmm. This whole thing's his fault, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Is he going to pay?
He's paid enough. He's paid enough.
Harvey?
Okay, when you hire a tow truck company, you really need to look at the contract carefully to know exactly what you're being charged. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Kenneth Tackett. He says he gave a good faith deposit to the defendant on the house he was selling, and unexpectedly the bank backed out on giving him the loan. The defendant was unsympathetic to his situation, to say the least, refuses to return his $1,000, so he's suing. This is the defendant, Steve Heitz. He says the plaintiff failed to mention to anyone that he was going through a divorce. His loan was denied, and now he's trying to back out of the deal they had. Well, he's sorry, but the plaintiff's personal problems aren't his to worry about. Deposits aren't refundable, and he owes the guy nothing. He's accused of having no heart.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff put a deposit down in a house he wanted. The bank turned him down, and now the seller won't give him the money back. But the seller says the guy was shady from the get-go. It's the case of a loan again, naturally.
Thank you, Douglas. Kenneth Tackett?
Yes.
You are suing Steve Heitz
That's correct.
for the return of your $1,000 good faith deposit that you had placed when you were going to buy Mr. Heitz's home.
Correct.
All right, tell me what happened.
I moved to New York, was looking for housing. I'd actually already found a place to rent when I was approached by a real estate agent and loan officer offering me pretty much a guaranteed loan through the USDA loan program. Decided, they went ahead and they got me supposedly pre-approved for a loan. They knew I was going through a divorce, that the divorce wasn't finalized yet. They said that wouldn't be an issue, everything would be fine. So I decided on Mr. Heinz's house, made him an offer, had the home inspected, pretty much everything I thought were ready to go. They even gave me a closing date of November 21st. And
they being?
The loan officer.
Okay.
And then on November 19th, they told me that they weren't going to be able to get the loan approved.
Why?
Because I did not have a final settlement agreement from my divorce yet. I mean, we have a verbal settlement agreement in place.
Yeah,
but
that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So what's the delay in your divorce? Who's the lady with you there?
My girlfriend.
Oh, but she'd like to know too. What's the delay in the divorce?
No, she knows. Michigan, Wayne County, Michigan is just notoriously slow. It's one of the slowest in the country.
Now, when did you first find out that there was a problem? You put the house up for sale and he enters into a contract to buy it when?
Around October.
All right, and then the closing date was when?
I never really got a definite closing date on it, but it's around sometime November to the 1st of December.
Okay, and when do you find out that there's a problem?
It was around towards the end of November.
Do you have a letter from MB Financial saying we're denying you and this is why?
I do not, no. They never sent me one.
And then how are you going to be able? You have to be able to prove to me that it was through no fault of your own that the loan didn't go through. How are you going to prove that to me here? That's the only way you can get that. How much is a deposit?
$1,000.
Right. He feels he's entitled to it because he's kept the house off the market for 2 months. But you're only entitled to it if it's fault of his own. You're not entitled to if it's no fault of his own. Did you ever see anything in writing?
No, I have not.
Where is the actual $1,000? Is where in escrow with your
realtor?
What's that right there?
Let's see.
It just says the buyer's not obtained, an accepted mortgage. Because I actually was approved for an FHA mortgage, but I had told them all along that I did not have the money for a down payment for an FHA mortgage, that it had to only be a USDA mortgage.
How much money would you have had to put down for an FHA mortgage?
What is that now? About 10%, I think they require down, so about $6,500 probably.
And how much money were you putting down in this other?
With the USDA mortgage, you only have, I think I would only needed less than $2,000.
What, are we heading into the same place we were in 2008? Man, this is a bad idea, not a good idea.
The bad part is the monthly payment actually is cheaper than what I pay in rent now. So
exactly.
Well, this was the commitment. I provide them all the documents that they ever asked for. Nowhere in the commitment does it say anything about a settlement agreement from the divorce. They told me that they had everything that they required.
Yeah, I know. Everything you're talking to me about is all you and your, shady.
Well, I personally
these people who are doing this to you and saying, why rent when you can own? I'll get you all that stuff.
Anything,
what does that have to do with him? The guy took the thing off the market for 2 months. I understand you may have a cause of action against the people who told you the divorce would be no problem. So at the end of the day, you might have to go for a more conventional kind of mortgage where you have to pony up more and then you have to buy the house. Because whatever unicorns and rainbows these people were selling you didn't work out. There's a surprise.
So if the bank turns you down, can you get your deposit back?
No.
Really?
No.
Seems unfair or kind of harsh. Okay. What do you say?
I agree. No, I don't think they should be able to.
Even if you knew going in that you had to get a loan?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends, but in my opinion, they shouldn't.
Okay, we'll talk later. Going inside the courtroom.
The way your contract reads is you get the deposit back if the closing doesn't happen through no fault of the buyer. Okay, what could that possibly mean? There's a hurricane and the house blows down. There's a fire and the house burns down. The seller decides, I'm not selling it to you. And you know what? I'm sick of you and I'm keeping your deposit. That's through no fault of your own. But you don't have a financing contingency, which lots of home sale contracts do, that says, if I don't get the mortgage, I don't have to close and that's not my fault. You have the only contingency you have is that you get a mortgage commitment letter, which was met. The minute that you got the letter, the minute these guys gave you this mortgage commitment letter, that contingency was met. So really, it was not expeditious for you to go through with the sale. I don't even know if he let you out of it. Did you end up signing that document and letting him out of it, or?
No, we had a counter offer for him to sign. And
what happened?
He never signed it.
Yeah, I haven't signed it yet.
That's not good. You need to get this little issue resolved. See, you have a problem between you and that banker and their whatever practices.
They told me this was the first step. I had to start here.
Yeah, here's where this step ends. I rule against you and in his favor. And here's why. Because there is nothing that you have described to me that is not your fault. And when I say your fault of the buyer, okay, I mean these are your people misinforming you, not his people misinforming you. It's you chose some mortgage broker who's promising you the world, and then as it turns out, he wasn't able to get you the world. That is, I know it's not, I believe every word you're saying. You were up front with them from the beginning. I'm going to believe every word you're saying, all right? But the fact is, you chose that guy. That's nothing that has to do with him. He didn't do anything to create this problem. And you did have a way out. It was just not a good way out, which is to apply for regular financing. So no, I find that the $1,000 deposit stays in the hands of the seller based on your contract and the fact that he took it off the market for that long. Good luck, folks.
This is not good news for the plaintiff who joins us in the hallway right here. What's your reaction?
It's pretty much what I expected. So, like I said, this was just a first stop.
What is going on out there in the mortgage market again? Your red flag.
People trying to get what. I guess, trying to shove people into a house as quickly as they can, get a quick commission.
Get them into mortgages as quickly as possible. Does that remind you of another scenario maybe about 8 years ago or so?
Yeah, pretty close.
You know what happened there?
I was a part of it.
Yeah, you're starring in The Big Short right now on the wrong end of the deal. Yeah, okay. All right, head right down this way. And all right, so step on in here and what do you make of this? Do you see the same thing that everyone else is talking about here in this case?
Not really. I made every effort to make it right with him, even after he kind of bailed out on me. And he never signed the paperwork or did what he should have done. So,
you think he was a little bit naive going into this deal?
It's not my call.
No,
it's not my decision to make.
What do you see here? You're on the other end. You see history repeating itself here? An echo?
Not with me.
You see an echo? All right, Harvey. What about you?
I don't know, Kurt. It could easily happen. I got to tell you, if you are buying a house, you need a lawyer to look through every single document.